Evening. Good evening. That was slow. And it's not that late yet. No, sorry. I'm going to bring us back from closed session. It is 6:02 on the 12th of December. And we're going to move into our open session meeting. I just have one item to report out from closed session. We had gone over Dr. Wright's evaluation, and it was successfully put together, and we're very pleased to say he passed with flying colors. So, yes. All right. So the next item, move on down here. I just want to remind you that this meeting is recorded for live streaming and archiving on the district YouTube channel. We're going to go on to our Pledge of Allegiance. And I see we have some kids in the audience. You kids want to stand, and then you can lead us all in the pledge. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, guys. Be seated. Right. I would like to see if we can get an approval of the agenda as written.
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Going to be pulling an item?
We are pulling an item. That's back here. Was it 14C? Yes.
14E.
Oh, 14E. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to pull item 14E to have, it'll come back on our January meeting, our first January meeting. So we're pulling that from this meeting. So now, with that change, can I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the agenda with the change as said.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Zeta,
Yes.
Trustee Gritz,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
All right. I believe you are doing the introductions, Dr. Wright. Thank you.
Good evening. At this time, I would like to introduce Joan Westerman, who's our economics teacher at Benicia High School. She's had a partnership with Travis Credit Union for the Mad City Money program for several years now, and we're very grateful for the effort that they put in, making sure that our students get a realistic outlook on finance and budgeting. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Ms. Westerman.
Okay, thank you for this time, Dr. Wright. I appreciate the time. We're here tonight to honor Travis Credit Union and Steward Pimienta, who has been working with our seniors for the past 3 years, touching at least 1,000 of our seniors before they leave with financial education. And I just wanted to share with you some highlights of what's been going on. They've been running a program for our seniors every semester called Mad City Money. And Mad City Money is an opportunity for seniors to understand budgeting and have a real-life simulation where they are given an occupation, a spouse, a child, a bunch of bills, a credit score, and they have to go around the room and buy everything they need for their family. And this is some quotes from our seniors I've put together for you all, and some pictures of what it looks like happening on their phones. And they have a blast. As they go through the program, they are trying to provide, and the fickle finger of fate often strikes. There might be a speeding ticket or some debt that's due. Sometimes it's positive, right? And grandma might send a check for Christmas, and that's always nice, right? But it's designed to simulate real life. And the kids have a ball. And this is based on Bite of Reality, which is the program. And Travis puts a whole part in front of it where they play games. And here, I love this quote from Cameron. I have no debt. I am a god. See, remaining debt, 0. So he did an excellent job. And so they're learning about how to manage their money before they graduate. And this is part of our economics curriculum here. And when we started it out, we were in the middle of COVID. And Travis sort of swung with the punches and made it work. All right. And then we got to go into the gym, and we have a tremendous amount of parent volunteers. It's a lot of fun for parents to be working with their kids. And it wouldn't work without our parents. Wouldn't work without our community either. You can see our community volunteers. There's some solid volunteers in that photo, which pick faces I'm sure you've seen time and time again. And wouldn't work without our school board and our principal always supporting us. Do we recognize anyone up here? All right. So thank you, Trustee Zeta, for loyally supporting this every year. So the next one that's up is coming up on February the 1st. All right. And February the 1st. So if anyone wants to volunteer for that, we would love to have you. You can see how it works. You can email me at that address. And it's amazing. We just want to thank you so much. You guys, Travis gives of their time, of their talent, and of their treasure, because these kids get gift cards when they play games and they win. They get gift cards, they get swag, and this year they even got AirPods. Okay, there was a gift of AirPods given from Travis.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we love you.
We love you guys.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. I want to see John step up on the camera. We are going to stand up. Okay.
I was going to go in the back, so I didn't block you. I felt like I was standing in front of you.
Thanks, Joan.
We're going to move on to our next highlight, which is celebrating our multilingual learner, RFEP students. And I am going to introduce Dr. Beatson, who's,
Actually, Mrs. Rice.
well, it was, okay, she was supposed to introduce you, but we
sorry.
got it, okay.
Thanks, I'll
This is
introduce.
Mrs. Rice, and we welcome her to speak on this subject.
Good evening. Yes, Dr. Beatson actually is out in the hallway helping get our families situated and seated and welcomed. My name is Stephanie Rice. I'm Director of Education Services, and I am here tonight with Miss Brenda Strassner. She's our multilingual learner support coordinator. So tonight, I would like to welcome families and students as we celebrate you. We will have some Spanish translation per request from our families, as Ms. Strassner reached out to each family via email through Parent Square so that languages can be chosen, and then she also did phone call outreach.
Queremos decir bienvenidos a nuestras familias y estudiantes para celebrarlos esta noche. Tendremos algunas traducciones al español por solicitud de las familias.
Really important to note is that BUSD celebrates language diversity, and acknowledges that speaking 2 or more languages is a powerful asset. We use the term multilanguage learner to emphasize this strength.
BUSD celebra la diversidad lingüística y reconoce que hablar 2 o más idiomas es un activo poderoso. Usamos el término estudiante multilingüe para enfatizar esta fortaleza.
We have 30 languages spoken here in Benicia Unified, and tonight we have 8 of those languages being represented: Spanish, Vietnamese, Chinese, Tagalog, Japanese, Arabic, Russian, and English.
En nuestro distrito se hablan 30 idiomas y 8 de ellos están representados aquí esta noche. Con nuestros alumnos esta noche tenemos los lenguajes de español, vietnamese, Chinese, Tagalog, Japanese, Arabic, Russian y inglés.
Tonight we want to recognize our students that met the state guidelines for English proficiency, and we want to provide background information on how our students received this award and share an opportunity known as the Seal of Biliteracy that they have the opportunity to receive.
Esta noche queremos reconocer a nuestros estudiantes y brindarles información sobre cómo nuestros estudiantes recibieron este premio y compartir sobre el sello de la Federación Bilingüe.
Our multilanguage learner students began by taking the initial LPAC, which is the English Language Proficiency Assessment of California, and then they took the summative LPAC yearly. The LPAC gives our district information to help to help support our English learners where needed in 4 domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. This slide includes supports provided at all sites across our district.
Nuestros estudiantes multilingües comenzaron tomando el PAC inicial, que es la versión de dominio del idioma inglés de California, y tomaron el PAC sumativo anualmente. El PAC brinda a nuestro distrito información para ayudar a apoyar a nuestros estudiantes de inglés cuando sea necesario en comprensión auditiva, expresión oral, lectura y escritura. Esta diapositiva incluye los apoyos proporcionados en todos los sitios de nuestro distrito.
Our students being honored here tonight earned a score of a 4. That's a top 4 on the LPAC while meeting our state and district guidelines, including classroom performance, grades, and state and local assessment. We also consult the families and get input on this reclassification.
Nuestros estudiantes honorados esta noche obtuvieron una puntuación de 4 en el OPAC, que es el más alto que puedes tener, y cumplieron con nuestros exámenes estatales y distritales, incluyendo el desempeño en la aula, las calificaciones y las evaluaciones estatales y locales. También consultamos con las familias para obtener sus opiniones.
Before we call out our names to celebrate our students, we want to highlight an opportunity available to them. The Seal of Biliteracy, one way to earn this award and receive a golden seal on your high school diploma is to obtain a 3.0 GPA or higher on your English language arts overall, or pass an approved exam, and then in addition, there's that next layer. So in addition, you show proficiency in another language, either by passing with a 3.0 in a 4-year high school course, or by passing the AP exam, or by passing an exam in your home language if it is not English. So our students tonight, if you are proficient in another language other than English, You can take an exam once you're in high school to show proficiency, and if you maintain a 3.0 overall or higher in ELA, you can receive this Golden Seal Award on your diploma. We handed out information. Board members, you have it. We also handed it out to families as you came in on the Seal of Biliteracy. It's also by the table by the door if you did not get one. And on the top is Ms. Strassner's contact. So if you would like more information on this or to talk through that, you can contact Ms. Strassner.
Antes de pronunciar nuestros nombres para celebrar a nuestros estudiantes, queremos resaltar una oportunidad disponible para estos estudiantes. El sello de alfabetización bilingüe. Una forma de ganar este premio y recibir un sello de oro en su diploma de escuela secundaria es obtener un promedio de calificaciones de 3.0 o más en las clases de inglés en general, o aprobar un examen aprobado. La otra parte, la segunda, es que además demuestra dominio de otro idioma y ya sea aprobando con un promedio de calificaciones de 3.0 en un curso de la escuela secundaria para 4 años, o aprobado en el examen de AP, o aprobando un examen en su idioma materno si no es inglés. La información sobre el sello de alfabetización bilingüe se repartió al comienzo de la reunión y está disponible en la mesa junto a la puerta.
Students, after you receive your award, we're going to ask that you please stay standing in front of the dais. That's in front of where our board members are seated. And we will take a group picture of your school site. Before you leave, you're welcome to stop by across the hall in our Liberty Gym where we have cookies for you to celebrate and an area for you to take photos with your award if you would like.
Antes de partir, puedes preparar una comida, tomarte una foto individual para celebrar en nuestro gimnasio de Liberty.
All right, may I ask Dr. Wright to step in the middle as you will present the awards. All right. Okay, do you want to read from here? And then I will grab these.
Our first school is Matthew Turner Elementary, and our first student is Claire Wang. Stay there. And we also have Daniel Ivan Dasig, who was not able to be with us tonight.
Good job.
Our next school is Robert Semple Elementary. Our first student is Damian Padilla Camacho. Jaylene Carranza Pedraza. Can, yeah. Sofía Carrión.
Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Right here. Right here. Yep.
So from Joe Henderson Elementary, we have Edison Jiang. Grayson Sakaguchi.
Edison, stay there for a moment.
And Ziyu Liu. Next, we have Mary Farmer Elementary. We're starting with Juan Hernandez. Maria Felicitas Magallon. Valeria Caseda. Oh, I'm going to repeat that. Valeria Salcedo Caseda. William Lee. Jada Malara. And Christopher Molina is not here with us this evening, so we'll send that.
Congratulations. You're welcome to head back over across the hall for some cookies to celebrate. Awesome. Good job. Thank you for coming.
We have a big group from Benicia Middle School. It is. Our first student is Gael Patino Valdez. Okay, I was a little too quick, so I'm going to say this name again. Gael Patino Valdez. Max Patino Valdez. Daniel Plancarte Escobar. Phoenix Culbertson. Diana Franco Ortiz. Fernando Gonzalez Jr. German Telpt. Omar Aguilar. Noor Aliadak. Gisela Molina.
And smile. Let's see. We need the windows.
Unless we ask people then.
All right. BMS, you can head across the hall to the right side and get some cookies to celebrate. Good work. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once you get your certificate, you're going to stay standing right up there. I'm going to take one more picture.
Okay. From Liberty High School, we have Raul Lucio Benitez. And from Benicia High School, Alonso Ibarra. Michelle Perez. Jairus Matthew Tuazon. Brizeda Sanchez Alcantar. Adrian Sanchez Blandino. Milton Espinosa. Jennifer Trejo Serrano.
I'll get those over to the schools.
Thank you, Ms. Draisner, for being here. And thank you, Mrs. Rice, for everything. This is a great presentation. I'm excited to see where these kids go. Having dual language, it's a wonderful opportunity for them. All right, we are now going to move on to our annual organizational meeting of the governing board. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Wright so he can give a little bit of background on it. There you go.
All right. Good evening. This meeting shall serve as our governing board's annual organizational meeting. In this meeting, the board will either confirm offices, roles, committees to serve on for the calendar year, which will take us to December 2024. And looking at the agenda, the first item for discussion is confirmation of president.
I'm leaving. No.
Nope. So President Zeta has completed the first year of her 2-year term. If the board does not have any objections and would like President Zeta to serve in a role as president for the second year of her term, can we get a motion?
I'll make the motion, but before I do, I would just like to say to President Zeta that you have been such a guiding influence. You have been so strong. You go to so many public events, and you always go, you are so gracious in everything that you do. And I just want to thank you for leading us and helping us be a good, strong board. You've helped us coalesce, and we've become friends as well. So I want to thank you for that. And I would also, I would like to make a motion that that President Zeta stay as president.
And I'll second that motion. And I echo everything Trustee Grubb says, and also thank you for your very warm welcome to me coming onto the board. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and look forward to this year.
Thank you. So there was
a roll call?
second and a roll call.
Yes, President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Moss, Trustee Grubb, sorry.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli. And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now I'm up. It is, our next item up is the nomination of the clerk. So at this time, I'm going to see if there's a motion out there to who we pick for clerk. And
I would like to move that we appoint C.C. Grubbs as clerk.
thank you. Can I get a second, please?
And I'll second.
Can we get roll call, please, Ms. Martinez? Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch. Yes.
It is a little bit weird saying yes for yourself, right?
Yes, isn't it?
But also, you've done an amazing job
Yes.
with, I have so much opportunity to talk with you one-on-one, and we kind of go through some of the works of speeches and all that other stuff that you keep me in, on track with that. So I really appreciate you being to my left side and we're not a singular person. These are singular jobs, but we're a group of 5. And so we all have equal say in everything. But I love having you here with me next to me, and it's comforting. So thank you for accepting. You're welcome. All right. Now we're going to move on to appoint our superintendent as secretary to the Board of Education. And at this time, I would like to see if there is a motion.
I move that we appoint the superintendent as our secretary.
Thank you. And may I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. May I get a roll call, please, Ms. Martinez?
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Wright, you're up on this next one.
Okay, adoption of the board calendar. So the staff, we put together a calendar for the board meetings for 2024. They're in your packet. I do want to highlight that in January, the meeting conflicts with open house at Benicia High School. So we set the meeting a little bit early so that the board and staff can get there and support Benicia High School.
So can we get a motion on the table, folks?
I'll move that we approve the regular board meeting calendar, include with the change that on January 18th, 2024, we will have an early board meeting starting at 4 in closed session. That would be 5 in open session in order to get to
Our
the
high
Benicia High School open house.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on. These are the committees. No.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Board member liaisons to specify committees for the 2024, the year of the 2024. We have several committees in our community in Solano County that, in Benicia, that the board goes to every once in a while. We have, so we assign people to do that job. And so we have, let's see, representatives to Solano County School Board Association, the District City Liaison, the Valero Community Advisory Panel, the Board Policy Committee, Equity Leadership Team, Facilities Steering Committee, and we have the 7th one, which I'll do just in a minute after I finish these. So of our board members present today, who would like to be on the Solano County School Boards Association?
Can I ask, did Cassandra tell you anything she wanted to be since she's not here?
That's why I'll do that at the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yes.
just so I want to know.
Oh, I think, let me think.
She wants to be on the California School Board Association delegate.
The delegate, that's a separate thing, but I'm not sure of these other things, what she prefers to be on.
And she's not here, so she gets what.
What's,
Does she do the district city liaison? Is that-
no, I do that
Not
one,
here.
but let's see what everybody else wants. Okay, so let's talk about the representative Solano County School Boards. We need one person, and not to throw it at your lap, Miss Amy, but I think that would be a good space, if you can do it, to be available so that you can meet some of the other people that are doing what we do in Solano County.
How often do they meet?
I have that. It says third Monday of each month via Zoom. Is that-
Monday of each month.
I am available to do that. Do you have an interest? You seem like you have an interest.
Oh, hey, duke it out.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, no.
No. I'm happy to take it and meet other people, but did you want to get more
Do you wanna
involved
meet other
on
people?
a broader level?
I think I know too many people.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
Okay. Sure, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that that we let Amy Hirsch be the person at the Solano County School Board Association. We'll make sure they get your information and know how to contact you. So may I get a second?
I'll second.
And may I get roll call, please?
President Zeta,
Of course.
Trustee Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli, and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, now we're on the district and city liaison.
Who are our current?
Our current ones are you and me.
Have we ever been called?
We
about
have
a meeting?
never been called, and I have talked to the city about it, and she said they just were so far behind with so many things that they will be putting something together. So I would like to keep that spot. Would you?
I would like to as well.
Because we've never met, so it would be a
We're,
nice.
we're not gonna fight you for it.
Okay, so can there be a motion on the table, please?
I move that we appoint Trustee Grubbs and Trustee Zeta as the district city liaison.
I second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Yes.
Trustee Grubbs. Yeah. Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, we're moving along to Valero Community Advisory Panel, and that is one person. And I believe that was Gethsemane.
I think so, yes.
And is there any interest here of anybody that wants to do Valero? Besides,
I have an interest in letting December.
I want to hear from Amy.
That's, yes, that's fine. We can have Dr.
Okay.
Moss.
How often do they meet?
They meet. It doesn't say how often. It just says Tuesdays at 4:30. They encourage in-person meetings. They're in a meeting right? Well, they may be done now because it's Tuesday. But did you have any interest in that, Ms. Scrubs? No? Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we could probably put a motion out to appoint Dr. Gethsemane Moss as the Valero Community Advisory Panel person. May I get a second?
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
President Zeta,
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next is Board Policy Committee. And currently, we have Maselli and Moss on that committee. And I don't know how familiar you are with a lot of the things that are in that, but it may be helpful for you
Yeah.
to learn.
I am a rules person. I am a rule follower.
Yes.
So I'd love to sit on this committee. I think it'd be really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
I'd like to continue.
okay. Well, it looks like we have our two people. So you want to make a motion?
I'll move that we select Ms. Hirsch and Mr. Maselli to sit on the Board Policy Committee.
Roll call, please.
President Zeta,
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs, Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
We second that?
I don't think there was a
We
second.
didn't
Oh.
second that.
Oh, I thought she seconded. You didn't second?
No, I made the
She made the motion.
Oh,
I'll,
you-
I'll second it.
Sorry, thank you.
For, yeah.
Let me- So it was Sherry that was the first then?
No, Cece was.
Cece.
He
first.
was first
Then
and
I
you were
seconded.
second. Okay, got it.
Thanks, Mark,
Yeah,
for
totally.
catching that. Next up is our equity leadership team. And the equity leadership team, where is it on my thing? I think, is this the new one?
I think it's you and me.
Well,
Combined it with District Curriculum Council?
we did combine
That,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so, okay, just a second. Okay, so for the equity leadership team and district curriculum council, we have two spots, and currently it is me.
And
Oh, and Amy. It's just not on my old sheet. So Does anybody else, would anybody else like to take that spot?
I'm happy to continue. I feel bad because it's hard for me to make the meetings because they occur early in the day.
It's after school,
Yeah, but it's so crazy with
the kids.
soccer.
Oh, of course.
Soccer and a lot of times work too. I was gonna have to miss the meeting today, actually, and I felt so terrible. So if Trustee Grubbs wants to do it and has the capacity and the schedule, I'm happy to cede to her. Otherwise, I'll stay on and because I'd love to be involved even if not on the committee.
It's two people.
Right.
So,
I'm waiting for facilities, frankly.
okay, well, we still need to fill these two spots. So I don't want to put you under pressure.
I'm happy to stay on it. I just feel bad that I might have to miss some meetings, but I'm
Okay.
happy to stay on it.
And you don't want to do it.
I'll do it.
I love the honesty. I need two people. And you're waiting for another spot.
Yes.
Okay, so,
I'm in.
Yeah, she'll be there on the one she marries. Yeah.
is that okay to go with one? Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we appoint Amy Hirsch to the Equity Leadership Team and District Curriculum Council.
How about you?
I'm just leaving it there.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just feel like I've been doing a lot, so I'm trying to.
Fair.
So, but that's my motion, and we're gonna leave it at one person at this time. If we find, you know what, I can tell you, if you find you can't make one, I will try to attend in your behalf,
That's great.
okay?
Yeah.
So I'm an alternate,
Okay,
okay?
I like it.
Okay, thanks. So is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Can we get a roll call, please?
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs. Yes. Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, and the next item is Facility Steering Committee. This requires two people. I know, I know, I know. It meets once or twice a year, so it's not very often, and it will be set up in the next few months. Well, this is old news, so we don't have to worry about that. We've got that organized. Is anybody besides Cece, who we're gonna appoint, is there anybody else that's interested in? I love that you want to do it. That's great.
What time of day is it?
It's probably after,
It's around 4.
like after school, right after school, because where do you meet?
We meet here. Tim's on it. Tim, is it? That's, yeah, it's usually 4:30.
I can.
Will you do that one?
Sure.
Okay, so,
I'll make a motion to approve Trustee Maselli and Trustee Grubbs as the 2023 Facility Steering Committee representatives.
2023-24.
24. 2023-24.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call. Yeah.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you.
And our last one, before we left, before this meeting, Dr. Moss reached out and asked me if she could continue as the California School Board Association delegate appointee to complete her term. And we believe that that is a good place for her to be. And so I would like to make a motion that we confirm Trustee Moss as the California School Board Association delegate appointee to complete her term.
I'll
I'll
second.
that.
Oh,
Well, I'll second.
Well, yeah, we're
oh,
all
there you go. Only one. Who
Make
did?
sure to get all of us. to say.
Okay, and roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Moss, from wherever you are.
Right.
And that concludes that part, and that was a lot, so thanks for bearing with us during that. Okay, next up are our reports. First up is our student reports. Is it Jackie Garcia? And you're with Liberty? Okay, excellent. Would you like to share?
Hello.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Zeta, Superintendent Dr. Wright, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. My name is Jackie Garcia, and I will be Liberty High School's new student representative. Last month, we held an attendance challenge. Besides daily prizes, students that had an attendance rate of 94% or high received a holiday turkey. We passed out over 35 turkeys. This month, we are holding the same contest, and this time, students will receive an apple pie. Yeah, I'm saving my turkey for Christmas, so. We have had several LTI field trips. Students went to Sacramento and visited the California Native American Museum. We had a group of students go to the BUSD Central Kitchens, which is also what we're working on to offer job opportunities for students as a way for them to get in touch with their interests outside of learning outside their interests and just offering them this job outside of school. Um, and thank you to Ms. Lewis for thinking of that idea too. Yeah. Some students went to the printmaking workshop here in town, and finally, another group got to go to the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco. We look forward to our next round of LTI trips. We want to thank Solano Community College for coming and assisting several students sign up for spring college classes. We have established a college quiet room where students can attend their virtual classes without having to leave Liberty campus. We're currently having a door decorating contest, and this year's theme is Winter Wonderland. Voting closes Friday afternoon, and I'd like to invite y'all to come and cast your vote. Just to let you guys know, I'm in room 1. My advisor is Mr. Pound in the back, and we went through a creative process, and we will make sure to make it much more impressive than the other classes, so I hope you guys look forward to that class.
You have my vote already.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. Lastly, we want to thank the maintenance department for helping us install new pieces of our artwork. Our goal is to create our own Liberty High School art gallery, and we could not do this without their help. On behalf of Liberty High School, we would like to wish everyone a safe and joyful holiday break. Thank you all.
Thank you. You did a great job. That's a lot of things, and
It's nice
I'm
to
gonna.
have you.
It is very nice to have you. I'm hoping I can step over there and check out your doors. So thank you very much. And I don't see a Jinjin Gao or a Bella Cannon here for Benicia High School. So is it finals week? Is it a finals week? Oh, that is why probably they're studying. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jackie Garcia go and study if she has to go study for anything. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful holiday. Thank you. Next is our superintendent's report, Dr. Wright.
Okay, I just want to thank everyone for a great fall semester. Our last day of instruction is on December 21st, and we will return on January 8th, ready to go. And I also just want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy new year, and we're looking forward to getting started when we come back in January. Thank you.
Thank you. Next are our board reports. Oh,
I have one. Yes.
Please share.
I do. I attended the Valero Benefit for Children on Friday, and I know that's coming up in our calendar. It was a great event, and thank you to Valero for supporting our schools.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Ms. Grubbs? Mr. Maselli?
I had the pleasure of attending the California School Board Association conference this last week with my colleagues here. And one of the things that always comes back to me when I go to a conference is how important continuing education is. I tend to lean towards the legal side and the financial side because in California, we have such an odd way of funding our public schools. So I really would encourage all of us to look at how California public schools are funded. It is, you could not run your home budget or any business in the way that it's funded. So again, I just want to say I would encourage you to really look at how schools are funded. I think the only way we're going to be able to change it is through a grassroots system. But anyway, I do want to thank Dr. Wright for hosting us. It was fascinating. There was so much to learn, and there was so much learning to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate how much I learned. I think all of us felt pretty jazzed about the whole thing. It was probably much better than any of the other ones I've attended. So they did a good job, and I want to thank Dr. Wright and Dr. Gill for being there with us and learning alongside us. So thank you for the opportunity. As always, it's very much appreciated. All right, we're going to move on to
Can I
comment.
just say one other
Of
thing?
course.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Martinez.
Oh my God.
For
I'm so
keeping us
sorry.
on track. I
Yes.
mean, we knew where we were going because of Mrs. Martinez.
Yes.
She kept us on track, kept us going. And if we got lost, we could text Georgina and say, not sure where I am. So anyway, thank you so much for all your hard work, for sending out the agendas.
Everything.
It really, really helps. Thank you so much.
I really appreciated your positivity and your morning messages. The way you start your day is, it is. It's a good reminder. It was a fantastic conference.
Thank you. I thanked you so much while we were gone, and I should have thanked you here. I'm sorry. But as always, thank you for everything that you do to keep us all on track. So thank you. So we're going to move on to comments from members of the public. And I do have one speaker. It's a Jen Ward. Hi, could you join us at the podium, please? And we're getting a BHS PTSA update.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ward, and I'm the president of the Benicia High School Parent-Teacher Student Association. And I wanted to come and just share 3 minutes of what kinds of things we do in our organization. We have, first of all, let me thank you for everything that you do for my child, for all of our students, and all the staff and teachers at the schools in Benicia Unified. So I appreciate everything that you do. And what we try to do in our organization is we're funding various things throughout the year. We're just getting ready to fund our teacher appreciation during finals week. We're having cocoa and marshmallows, bagels and cream cheese breakfast. We're trying to do some things that will make the teachers feel good, that we appreciate them. And we've finished funding $5,300 for teacher mini grants for innovation grants for our teachers that weren't able to get things funded through school site funds. We were able to donate some extra money so that they could get some things that would help benefit students. In the spring, we will fund some senior volunteers who volunteer at grad night. There's a hospitality room for the volunteers, so we will provide food for that. Each year, our organization does a bigger project. You might remember a couple of years ago, we helped put in more water bottle filling stations into the high school. We try to find a project that benefits all students. And this year, the counseling office wanted some funding to make the place more warm, welcoming, calming. So they're asking for things like pillows and chairs, some rugs, plants, a bigger table, some shelves, and we're going to help raise some money for that. How we raise our money is we have direct donation through an organization or a website called Totem, which we use for our membership, and that you can access from the website. We are selling bricks at the stadium, so legacy bricks. Families can buy a brick and get their name put on it or a special saying for their families. And we also do restaurant takeovers. And so, but the big thing I think for raising money would be direct donation through Totem. So for $25, you could buy a chair for the counseling office. And so I'm going to leave you with the material that we have. And thank you very much for allowing me to speak and for everything that you do. Thank you. Sure. Oh, sure. I meant to say, Joan is our teacher representative on the PTSA board. She's been doing it for about 6 years, and amazing person to give us so.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to approval of the consent calendar. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call vote and on the roll call vote unless discussion of items is requested by any board members. So does anybody have any questions regarding any items in that? Okay. So can I get a motion, please, to accept to approve the consent calendar as written?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar as written.
May I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Mrs. Martinez.
President Zeta.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, now at this time, part of that packet, there was a couple things. First thing was acknowledgement of the following gifts to the district that the district received. A check in the amount of $135,000 was given to us by Valero in the Benefit for Children fund that they put together. And we want to thank them so much. Thank you, thank you. Next is an amount of $1,000 for Valero. Oh, is Valero here?
Yes.
You're here.
That was
I'm
the name.
sorry. Here's her.
The name.
Are you Selma? Hi. Selma, would you please come up here? Selma Razagi.
Yeah.
We'll go that way.
We'll dance. Oh, no. Go back. Thank you. And please go back and tell everybody how much it is appreciated. Thank you. And you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. It may be boring for you. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Go. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. All right. The next is a check in the amount of $1,000 from Delgado Property Management and $150 from Ronald Calderon to the Benicia High School debate team. Both of those checks went to our debate team, and thank you so much to both of you for helping support our students. The following one is instruments for the Joe Henderson Elementary Band with an estimated value of $3,500 to use for student rentals of 3 flutes, 3 clarinets, 1 flugelhorn, 1 bari saxophone, and 1 piccolo. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have to pull out item E of number 12, item E. We have to vote separately on resolution 23-24-08. So can I get a motion?
We don't need the motion. We're going to go with the same motion that you did for the count.
Oh, okay, so
Just
roll
need the
call. Roll call.
President
please.
Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Moss, excuse me, I keep saying Trustee Moss. Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes, I wanted just to add one quick little comment.
Yes.
On this, it doesn't look like this made it into the abstract, but on the attachment for the gifts in the consent calendar, there is one more gift from Meredith Webb. and Julie Jedzanak for $100 for the BHS debate team.
Well, the $100, was it 100 or 150?
And also 150 from Mr. Calderon.
Okay, then we need to amend this.
No, we don't need to amend it. It's on there
It's in the attachment.
in the attachment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to verbally recognize.
Thank you so much.
Sure, yeah.
What, can you tell me, it was $100 from who?
It was Meredith Webb and Julie Jedzanak to the BHS debate team.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you to both Meredith and Julie for your donation. Okay, so we just did the E, and we also have to do the F in that same column. This was consideration and approval of resolution 23-24-13. And since we did a roll, we just need to do a roll call, not a first and
It's going to
second.
be under the same
Yep.
motions. And President Zeta,
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs, Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we're on to presentations and communication and informational items. And first up is Mr. Phillips, the Director of Special Ed. If you would join us at the podium and share. Thank you for being here.
Clickety click.
So much. Basically, to that. Yeah, sorry. Done. Oh, there it is. Hello. Thank you. I am a loud enunciator, I guess. All right. And anyway, an indication then of what we have done in each of these four areas as we've strived to do better, quite frankly, right? The first area in support of our special education teachers, we had a number of different areas. We looked at curriculum, professional development, and the addition of some classes as we recognize that we're having an increase in number of special education students needing support. We had to make sure we're not overcrowding classes or creating those kind of circumstances and situations. So in terms of curriculum, we look specifically at what our teachers are currently using with feedback also from our teachers. One of the changes that we've made is we've implemented the unique learning system, or ULS curriculum system, for students in our functional academics and our RISE classes. These are students in need of our highest level of support, and this curriculum is really powerful. It's research proven. It also connects directly to content standards. So we're keeping the students engaged in content standard work while also providing the additional support they need. So that was one of the areas. In terms of professional development around the SPIRE program, which is an excellent reading program. It really supports our students who are having some struggles with reading to acquire their skills more quickly. Also, again, unique learning systems, which I'd mentioned previously. Nonviolent crisis intervention, or NCI training, very important in terms of supporting our staff and our students to maintain safety as they negotiate
their school days, and also work around behavior intervention plans. Additionally, paraprofessionals need training and support too. It's not listed specifically here, but our behaviorist, Rachel Carmichael, who does amazing work, has provided support to our behaviorists. Let me try that again. Has provided support to our paraprofessionals in really upping their game and being able to support students in the classroom, which has been really powerful. We also have provided training modules for our paraprofessionals around things like different disabilities, also around how they can support instruction that they're giving to students. And it's a plethora of different topics that they can delve into. So that's something we're really pleased to have done. Also, again, just referring quickly to the two classrooms, we've added the RISE class at Robert Semple to support students in our TK5 band. And we've also added a resource class at Benicia Middle School for this current school year, 23-24. Okay, and as far as direct communication, yes, we had some work to do in that area, and we'll continue to have work to do in that area. We really, it's perpetual motion, right? We need to continue to find ways to communicate more effectively. So specifically, we've implemented monthly parent meetings, which I think has been very valuable in supporting families with agenda topics initially that we chose that we felt parents would need access to, our families, but then topics now that our families are providing to us. So we survey our families, they say, here's what we want to know. We reach out either within our own experts within the district or to external experts, and then we provide the opportunity to have a session. And these are interactive too. I mean, our parents are very engaged, ask great questions, so it's not a sit and get, it's really a back and forth conversation that takes place. Nice. Yeah, I'm really pleased about that. Also, Dr. Amber Bousset, I'm going to call her out specifically. She is an independent advocate who is contracted through the SELPA, and she's a very student-centered lens who helps our families navigate through the IEP process. Really helpful for those who are new to it. It can be complex, and it can be really trying to understand the information that's being shared with you. So she's done wonderful work in teaming with us. She shows up to every one of the monthly parent meetings, makes herself very available, and her services are also free of charge to our families. So really helpful there.
Can I ask one
Oh,
question? I'm
please.
interrupting you.
No, please. Yeah.
Is Dr. Bousset, is that new that she's available to be an advocate?
Yeah, so in past, Carol Gonzalez served in that role, retired some time back. She was fantastic in that role previously. Dr. Bisset is new to the role for us. But yeah, it's a position that's existed, but I think we're taking advantage of this opportunity in a different way in terms of really putting her right out in front of our families and engaging them. And she's worked with many of our families already to a good resolution.
Thank you for doing that.
You bet.
I mean, that it's for somebody who's never been through the process, it's a lot. So having that resource is great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, in fact, not to get too far out, but I was a special education teacher when my own son had a speech IEP, and I went in there with a certain attitude about how, oh, I know special education, but the truth is, when you're in the meeting and it's your child and you're hearing information for the first time, it's challenging. It's great to have that person to lean on. Yeah, totally agreed. Also, we offer a coffee with the director, which is also new, and that's something that our program specialist, Aaron Bieber, also takes part in. And so the two of us have an informal meeting with our parents. We recently had one at Robert Semple, and it was a great experience. Whatever topics our parents wanted to discuss, that's what that's what drove the conversation. And again, good feedback. Where are we strong? Where do we have work to do? So that was good information, and we'll continue to hold those coffees with the director on an ongoing basis. So, all right. Next, speaking to the Special Education Task Force, and really pleased at the work that we have endeavored to complete with the task force. We held our first meeting, and essentially what we did is let's identify what are some strengths in the district, and then what are some areas that we really have opportunity to grow. And so initially it was, here's what we believe we know. One of our next meetings is going to be, and here's the data to support our beliefs, right, in terms of that. The the task force is composed of general education teachers, special education teachers, site administrators, district administrators, paraprofessional, parents. So it's really a pretty encompassing group of folks to be able to speak to what we need to do. They're an advisory group, so together we're going to come up with some potential solutions to be considered by our district and determine if we can implement those in a way that will support our students. The bottom line is we're looking for improved outcomes for our students with special needs and really all of our students, right? Okay. The continuum of service. So I had an opportunity to share information about our continuum of service at a board meeting back in January of 2023 of this year. And really it's what are the programs that we offer to our students with disabilities across a continuum of potential services, working from our least supported programs, students who need the least support, to the most supported programs, and also what those programs look like vertically. How do we move up through those programs, elementary to middle to high school? So one of the asks of our families was, what is our continuum of service, as we took information from them? And can you explain too how it supports inclusion specifically? So it took some time to discuss that with the board. I've also shared that information during the monthly parent meeting with our site administrators and with each of our departments within the district. But the ask was, do it again, do it again, and do it again. And it's a very legitimate ask, because what if I'm a parent who's new to special education? Why do I expect to have that information? And parents who've been here a while too aren't necessarily familiar with it. So it's making sure our teams can share the continuum during IEP meetings and that we share it ongoing. And also, thanks so much for the updated website. IT department's amazing. And so the information about our continuum is accessible under the special education department and the website as well. So yeah, it's been really, really helpful. So yep, we'll continue to talk continuum and also to see how we're doing with that continuum and take data on it to make sure we're supporting students. All right. The last item, I really like this one too, is fostering relationships with our local businesses to support our kids in getting work opportunities, right? Super, super important for our students as we look at them moving into their adult years and being successful. So we have an amazing workability coordinator in Joseph Christian Roldan, calling him out specifically because he's really worked hard to form relationships with our local business partners, most recently adding Rite Aid to those companies that offer opportunities to our students. And it was really great too, because last year at the CAC event in the spring, we took time to specifically honor those businesses who had provided these opportunities for our students. So it was really just fantastic. Celebrated them, plaques, and we really just want to make it clear that the businesses are so important to the work we're doing for our students as they're moving into the work world. And with that, I also was going to say, open to questions, but wanted to mention too, I wish you all a really happy holiday season. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you, Trustee Hirsch, too. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? No, that was really good.
No, this
thank
is
you.
great.
You've really, I have to commend you. You've come a long way since when you first got here. It's been just over a year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to think about that for a
Whirlwind.
minute, actually. Yeah.
No, you've done great things, and I can see that it's flourishing the way you're just talking about it, and that you're having these open meetings and for the parents, and that the parents are actually presenting you with questions that they would like answered where they're having some confusion. And I think that's a great work together. So thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Thank
President
you.
Zeta. Appreciate that.
I also
Absolutely.
just kind of want to add that you've hit on a lot of themes that I hear from parents. Communication, knowing how to access information, having their voices heard, having access to an advocate. How do they start the IEP process? I get that question a lot. And also the continuum of service. I know that some other districts, I don't think we have this, but in larger districts, they actually have whole classes that provide, I don't know, job training and support for students who've graduated. Again, I think these are bigger districts, but I know that that's a concern on a lot of parents' minds, how to transition their child into the workforce and the non-academic environment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
So it's great.
nice. It's nice to know that there's some overlap with
Yeah.
us. And I would say too, to that, it's perpetual, right? Our growth has to be perpetual. It never ends. So with the suggestions, what do we need to work on? What's new? What do we need to change? So thank you
Great.
for your feedback.
Thank
too.
you.
You betcha. Thanks a
Excellent.
lot.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 13B, our LCAP mid-year update. Dr. Beatson, will you join us?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. This is just a very quick update on our LCAP. It's one of the requirements of the LCAP process is to come forward to you with a mid-year update. And so really what I want to quickly touch upon is just what are the requirements of the LCAP this year? What is in our current LCAP? How are we monitoring our progress and implementation of our actions and services? And what are the next steps? One of the things I want to remind you of is we're currently implementing this year's LCAP. It is the last year of our three-year LCAP. And simultaneously, we are collecting data and input to build the next three-year LCAP. We always start with our equity statement. That is the foundation of this LCAP work. As you look in all four of our goals, you will see that it is about providing access and opportunity for all students and closing achievement gaps. So the requirements of the LCAP. So one of the things I'm doing this evening is the mid-year update, just, what did we say we were going to do and are we doing it? And then as part of the whole process of writing the LCAP, there will also be an annual update that will be in the LCAP that we write for next year. It'll also show how did we do this year. Engaging educational partners. And so that's part of the process we're in right now is we're developing how do we solicit input and feedback from our educational partners. So that is our teachers, our unions, our staff, all different committees. We work with the SELPA and with the county office, parents and students as well. Metrics and indicators, we have, as you know, state metrics that we have to track, and those I will be coming back and presenting further once we come back from break because the dashboard will be released at that point. And then we also have local data because we don't want to wait until the state data comes out to see if we're on track. We have goals, actions, and services, as you know, and where are we in the implementation of those, and then also monitoring our budget. One thing I just want to mention with the budget is just a reminder that many of the actions and services in this LCAP are funded with one-time funds. So that's a big part of the conversation we're having with our educational partners. As you know, we have 4 LCAP goals. 2 of them, goals 1 and 4, really help create the conditions for learning, while goals 2 and 3 are focused around academics. The next 2 slides really show the current actions and services. We've gone over these before, but just as sort of a way to look at these 2 slides, the things in blue are just a reminder of those are the items that are paid with one-time dollars. Yes. Yes.
So Special Friends and Second Step have been in the district for eons, right? So I'm wondering how,
Sure.
the one-time money versus the ongoing program.
Right. So we've always paid for it sort of in 2 parts. One with some district dollars, and we've gotten a grant from the city of Benicia in the past to fund the other part of it. This year, we had a little kerfluffle with the grant with the city and the changeover of some staffing here. The email went, but it never, to apply for the city grant, and it didn't happen. We reached out right away when we found that we missed that deadline, but they were also in the process of making some major budget cuts. So there was no wiggle room in offering us that flexibility. So we backfilled this year's with one-time dollars. So it's not the whole program, but it's a chunk of the program.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, and I don't think they had, in conversation with them, it wasn't going to be something that they were going to be able to continue into the future as they're looking at the budget deficits that they're in.
Right. Understood. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome. Any other questions on these 2 action slides? Okay. And then the next couple of slides, and I'm not going to go through the data, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of how we're tracking data. So not only do we track our state data, which is our graduation rates, our CASP testing, suspension, chronic absenteeism, those big datas, which really look at a cluster of actions. So those aren't directly aligned to just one thing, but they sort of overlap on an entire goal, if that makes sense. What you're seeing here, we've developed with our LCAP team is that's great, but how do we monitor the implementation and the effectiveness of individual goals? So it's not a perfect science, but we really wanted to come up with a small data point to look at each of the actions and services. And so that's what you're seeing on this slide.
Can I assume under supplemental that things that are yes are coming out of supplemental funds, everything else is out of the general?
Correct. It's not all out of general. So it's supplemental. It might be Title I funding. It might be one-time funding.
Okay, thank you.
And so I have just a couple of slides just showing the types of data that we're looking at to track effectiveness of those actions and services. One of the big ones that you're going to see over and over again in what I call the data dip is looking at NWEA. That's that local assessment that we use, and we really link it to many different actions and services because our whole job is to make sure that kids are learning and growing in our key areas, of course. And
That aligns well to the SBAC.
it does, and that's what this slide shows. And so this is our ELA data. The box on the table on the left is last year's fall 2022 NWEA. So we administer the NWEA, and you can see the percentage of students that met or exceeded that in the fall. And on the right side was when we took CASP this spring. And for the most part, they are pretty closely aligned. So it's a good predictor. So in the fall, when we administer this NWEA, it's pretty close to how kids actually perform in the spring on CASP. So on the right side, you can see how we performed in the first administration this year of NWEA. And so this is where we are working really on best first instructional strategies. Really, Ms. Rice and Lisa Golson are doing a lot of work with teachers around using that data to inform instruction, because if we don't do something different, we can expect to see the right-hand column be pretty close to the left-hand column in terms of CASP scores. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then again, this is our goal 3, which is around mathematics, and the same type of slide that you would see here in terms of prediction of how did kids do in NWEA math last year and where we are this year. And then just implementation of our actions and services. We have some things that are in progress of being implemented, so that's partially implemented. So our intervention assistants, they work at the elementary school, they're classified positions. We haven't been able to fill all of them, but those folks that are doing that work are doing great work with our students in reading, mostly in the primary grades. We have content collaboration days, we're grade levels, so all the 4th grade teachers, for instance, were here in the boardroom today, working together, looking at potential new curriculum for ELA, talking about report cards and all those kinds of things. Teachers on alternative evaluation get a little bit of funding to help support the work that they're doing. And then we have always funded some band, so the instrumental music program. So those are sort of in progress. Over on the right side, things that haven't been implemented. So there's 2 positions that haven't been filled, so those haven't been implemented. AP training occurs in the summer, so we haven't gotten those requests in yet. And then alternatives to suspension. This was something that had come up from the previous administration at the middle school, and it was really meant to buy some modules in, so if a student does something that they're not supposed to do, part of that re-education, watch this module. In having conversation with our current administration, they weren't ready to implement that yet, so we hadn't purchased it, but instead really wanted to provide a mentorship program for some key students that had been struggling for a period of time. And so that's what we're using that funding for, because these are students that had been suspended a lot and felt like putting them in front of a computer to do a module wasn't going to make a difference. Right, so we used that funding, same purpose, different approach, and everything else is being implemented already in the LCAP. And then finally, where are we in the process? Currently, we are in the data analysis process, so our LCAP team has met pretty much 3 weeks in a row to look at implementation data, and they're making some recommendations to either continue all the things that we've done so far with the one-time dollars next year. We have enough money to do it one more year, or to collapse some and continue others probably for the next 2 to 3 years. That's where they're leaning. So based on that feedback, we are putting together surveys and forums. And I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to watch my little videos that I've been sending out about the LCAP process, just to try to educate folks before they give feedback about what the process is, what's in the current LCAP, the budget, and the data. So we're in the process of getting that ready, and all of the educational partner engagement will happen in January when we return. Then the LCAP team will take all of that feedback, analyze it, make some proposals about where we're going to go, and we will draft the new 3-year LCAP, which will come to public hearing in May, and then move on from there. And so that is the LCAP process.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Any questions?
Solid.
Yes, so our committee met to discuss September and October policy updates. And the policies that you see in your packets were brought forward by CSBA by their recommendations. And the policy also addresses the changes in the law. And this is the first reading. They will come back to you on, back in January for you to take action on them. One thing I do want to note is that there is a social media policy that's included in there. That was not a CSBA recommended policy, but that came from a neighboring district based on some things that they were experiencing. And it gives us a little bit more flexibility to take action if bullying behavior happens on our site. So I just wanted to note that. And again, this will come back to the board in January for action. And if you have any questions between now and January, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. Okay, we're at item number 14. Let's see how we can get through this. Shh, don't jinx it. Let's not jinx it. Okay, item A, consideration and approval of the course outline for choir. Actually, I'm going to call, well, Mrs. Rice is already in her spot, and I didn't have to call her, and you're going to be here for the next 3. So please take it away, Mrs. Rice. I almost called you doctor.
take
Mrs.
it.
Rice. I know.
Yes, Stephanie Rice, Director of Education Services, and I am here first for your consideration and hopeful approval of the Concert Choir Vocal Music 1 course at our high school level. This course is a new proposed course. It is a potential offering depending upon interest from our students. It will, if approved, fulfill our fine arts credit, and there is no prerequisite, no experience needed. It's open to all 9th through 12th grade students. The students will learn proper vocal techniques, will rehearse and perform choral music of different styles, cultures, and periods. It also teaches music reading and sight reading skills. Singing techniques, they will learn music history and appreciation, as well as build self-confidence and group cohesiveness. So I am here today to ask for your consideration and hopeful approval of this course for our high school.
Couple quick questions. Do we have a target, like we'd have to have this many students interested before we'd offer it? Is there a specific number?
So we're looking to offer one section. So it is put out to the students once we get the numbers back. I'm not sure of the exact target number. I'm not sure, Dr. Beatson, if you have, but it's, we're looking for one section. And if that section then is approved, we would collapse a different section so that it's kind of a trade.
Teacher that could teach that, or would we have to
Correct.
from the outside? We do
Correct.
have someone currently?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And that probably just answers the question I had, which you'll probably hear me ask a lot given the
Please do.
state of California right now and the budget. Do you anticipate any impact on the budget?
We don't anticipate any impact as current teacher, and if this section comes through,
Yeah.
we would collapse a
Great.
different section.
Thanks.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Rice. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the course outline for choir.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
President Zeta?
Yes,
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
I'm really excited about that.
I am too.
I'm really excited. Next is the consideration and approval of course outline for yearbook. Mrs.
Thank you.
Rice.
So we currently have yearbook as a course, and it's a G elective course. So I'm here to propose the approval of an updated course outline for graphic publications yearbook. What this will do for our students is they can then choose whether to get G elective credit or have the elective credit of the fine arts for our graduation requirement. So they will have that choice with that. What you'll see in your course outline is it is very similar, except they have grown in adding standards from the California Arts and Fine Arts Standards. They're doing history of graphic arts, and they have updated several publishing softwares that you'll see in here in order to meet that fine arts requirement. So again, I'm here for your hopeful consent and approval of the updated course outline for graphic publications yearbook.
I'm sorry. I was curious. What is it? In terms of the current yearbook class, so it adds a digital component?
Well, they've had the digital component, and what they've done is they've rewritten the course because it's blossomed and grown.
Okay.
So they were able to pull from the arts standards and hit those things to update so that they have enough to meet the fine arts requirement because of how broad it is in what they do with yearbook now with all the graphic design.
When you say they, who did this?
Teachers and
Oh, the yearbook
administrators.
Oh, okay.
Bring
Thank you.
yeah,
Well,
they do the course outline. They share it with us. We
Okay,
get
great.
teachers' eyes on it, and then
Thank you.
bring it
Thank you
forth
very
to you.
much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion, please?
I'll move that we approve the course as presented.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second the course outline for you.
Thank you. And Mrs. Martinez, roll call, please.
President Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Your final one this evening, I think.
Yes.
Consideration and approval of course outline for economics. Thank you.
So again, this is a course that we currently offer, economics. Ms. Westerman, I hope I do you proud here. And this is a graduation requirement. But what the teachers and admin did is they, because of what we offer through economics, you saw it in the highlight and the rigor the kids have, they were able to do some changes within the course, adding some things, not much because your course was very rigorous already.
Oh, yeah.
But if approved, it will be able to be articulated with DVC's Econ 200 course. So this will mean that our students will be eligible to receive college credit up to 3 units for taking this course. As you look through, they were very organized. If you look on page 7, they bolded what is updated through here, and they shared the most significant differences to be added was the application of dealing with scarcity and also some more on marketing structure. And again, if approved for this updated course outline, it opens up the opportunities for our students to not only receive their graduation requirement credit, but also apply if they get a B or better on the final exam and a C in the course to apply for the 3 credits, which will be transferable to UC and CSUs.
This is terrific. I'd like to
know.
take the class. Yeah, let's all take the class. We should.
So I'm here again to request your approval.
Thank you. Any questions on this? Okay, can I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the course outline for economics.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Martinez, please roll call.
Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aw, look at the that was good. Okay, Mr. Phillips, you're coming up to join us again, and you're going to be sharing something about the Community Advisory Committee representatives.
Yes, thank you very much for that introduction, President Zay. That works great. Yes, the Sullivan County Advisory Committee, which I'd spoken of earlier, CAC, is advisory board mandated in Sullivan County Special Education local plan. The group serves many purposes, including the provision of annual parent education conferences and the annual Special Education Awards presentation, which I'd also spoken to. We're very pleased to have two of our parents who've volunteered to take part in that. That is Nancy Lopez and Claudia Vasquez, who'd like to participate on Benicia's behalf. And I would like to recommend the approval of both of these amazing parents for doing so.
Wonderful. First of all, thank you. Thank you and thank them. And we're going to vote on it. So can I get a motion, please?
I'll move to approve Nancy Lopez and Claudia Vasquez as the Community Advisory Committee representatives for Benicia Unified School District, BUSD, for 2023-24.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mrs. Martinez.
President Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item E, we pulled earlier at the beginning of our meeting, so we're going to not have to talk about that at this meeting. Then we go on to F, and it is Dr. Wright and Mr. Rayhill are going to present its consideration and approval of Resolution 23-24-14. Take it away.
All right, good evening. So the district's been working with PARS to design a retirement incentive offer for our employees. The goal of the program is to generate savings by increasing the numbers of retirement resignations within this in our district for this school year. And the additional retirements and resignations would assist the district in minimizing some of the potential layoffs that we may have as we consider budget reductions or adjustments for the following year. So staff is recommending the board consider the PARS agreement that we have in the packet.
Thank you. Was Mr. Rayhill going to add anything to that? No. Okay. Any questions? We did talk about it in closed session,
Right.
and but do you have any questions?
Maybe just a couple of clarifying questions.
Please.
So with the early retirement, I'm a little bit sad because maybe some of the few teachers who I had who are still teaching may take it, as they should. But if more employees take it than we anticipate, is there, do we have a, are there concerns about being able to meet the needs of our students in class? Yeah.
I mean, staffing is always a concern, particularly now in our climate with teacher shortages and staffing shortages in general. But as a district, we've been very proactive. We're signed up to go to, I think, 9 or 10 recruitment fairs already in the spring. We'll host 2 recruitment fairs here at BUSD. And we'll be very active in recruiting potential employees for next school year. It is a concern, but we're pretty confident that if we get out early enough, we'll be able to fill those vacancies.
Well, it was, just in terms of the budget, I know that, with the state fiscal situation that we're in, I'm thinking this is a proactive move. How do we feel about, how this will impact the budget or give us a little more space?
Yeah. So the PARS supplemental retirement plan, total voluntary, there's kind of a certain number, and there's a range of people that are close to retirement that will choose to retire with the plan, and the savings are generated by employees on the higher end of the salary schedule, generally being replaced with new employees on a lower end. And so those savings are generated for the district and could be used towards addressing the budget adjustments that we see coming in the future. We'll have a full report back at the board in January when the governor announces his January state budget proposal for next year, which we are looking at a cost of living allowance at this point in time at 1.27%, which is much lower than original projections, closer to 4. And so districts in these situations also that have already were going to be facing some budget adjustments, this is a tool that they use. The last time the district did this was back in the Great Recession when it was facing similar budget adjustments. So the potential is to provide savings to minimize layoffs and to contribute towards those efforts of also reducing budget adjustments.
Theoretically, couldn't there be some attrition also? We might not necessarily, let's say, 30 people took the retirement incentive, maybe you hire 25.
Exactly. That is
could also be.
That is going to be our goal, is in our analysis to see if there are some positions that that when people leave that we might be in a position to not fill them, and that would also contribute to the savings.
Great. Very proactive. Thank you.
I move that we approve the PARS supplementary retirement program.
And can we get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Yes.
Trustee Gritz, Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you. Our item G, extension of the deadline for BUSD early notification retirement incentive. You've been sitting here so patiently, Dr. Gill. Thank you. Would you care to share information on this?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening. The board had approved the incentive bonus, so to speak, for employees who informed or will inform us by January 12th that if they're going to retire, then they will receive $1,500 as an incentive. Now we are requesting to extend this date to align with the PARS date because they kind of are similar type of thing. And I do want to say a sentence that if the PARS does go through, then and the certain employees take opportunity of the PARS, then they will only get one, either the incentive or PARS, not both. And but with this, we're just bringing forward for the board to extend the due date for incentive program as well to February 5th to align with the PARS, so it's easier for employees to make a decision. So one date deadline.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I get a motion or any questions?
The PARS obviously is going to be a greater amount than the early.
Definitely. Yes.
Should be obvious. I just want to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I get, oh, sorry.
So when will the packets go out to staff?
For
That
PARS?
explains the that explains PARS.
Great question. And so tomorrow, all eligible BUSD employees will get a district email announcing the PARS program and giving them some highlights. And also included in there is letting them know that as an eligible employee, they will be receiving a enrollment packet with additional information in the mail for their review. There's phone numbers in there, emails addressed if they have questions in the immediate time frame. We'll also be following up with a district-wide meeting on the next Wednesday before winter break. That's December 20th at 3:30 at Benicia High School. So folks are encouraged to look at their information, talk to whoever they would like to talk to, at least initially, and then come to the meeting. And over winter break and in January, continue to think about it, continue to ask questions. And then by February 5th, we're asking for that final signature. So tomorrow will be the district email, followed up with a packet mailed to them. They'll probably receive it by Friday,
So does everybody get a packet or just those that show interest?
just those eligible. Yeah, so if you're eligible, it's voluntary. So, some will choose to take part of it and others obviously will not. Yeah.
Thank you. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll move that we approve the deadline extension for the early notification retirement incentive to align with the PAR supplementary incentive plan from January 12th, 2024 to Monday, February 5th,
I'll
2024.
second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, governing board review and approval of the 23-24 first interim financial report for the Benicia Unified School District. Mr. Rayhill.
Yes. Good evening, and we have this item for your review and approval tonight. It is the 23-24. It's our first interim financial report for the school district. This will be followed up with a second interim financial report in March. And so we're providing this to you tonight. We use the information from the state-approved budget as well as current information. And this report does provide for the state's 3% reserve for economic uncertainty and the additional board policy reserves. And as such, that this first interim report does provide for the positive certification as of this first interim report. And so in the packet are the sheets that we provide you each reporting cycle. And there is a lot of information on here. In the interest of time, I'll summarize and then take questions, or if there's any additional information, we can go back to that. But we always start with the key fiscal factors. We have salary-related costs on our salary schedules with our step and column and some of the other retirement systems that continue to see and require school districts to pay into the retirement systems as those needs continue to be met. We're paying close attention in the next section of our other revenues and expenditures, especially the one-time funds. Dr. Beatson's been meeting with the LCAP. You'll hear more from that, along with the budget in January and February as those one-time funds dry up. And at this point in time, we're not hearing or seeing any type of indication that more one-time funds will be made available in the 24-25 budget. And so you'll be hearing about how the LCAP committee would suggest for consideration how the remaining one-time funds are either primarily used up in 24-25, or some adjustments maybe will be made to make it last a little bit longer into 25-26. So that will be coming back. We'll continue to monitor all of our programs, including special ed, where we get our funding through the Solano County Group, as well as the program needs associated with those, and continue to monitor our LCFF factors, which is the local control funding formula, the biggest source of funding for our school district. You can see that right now, in that item number 3, Benicia Unified is enjoying what we're going to go ahead and call some flat enrollment. And the reason why we're seeing that flat enrollment is because we're getting close to fully implementing the new TK program, the transitional kindergarten program for all 4-year-olds. So the traditional or the historical kindergarten through 12th grade enrollment, that's actually declining. But because we're getting more 4-year-olds enrolled into our system and into our TK program, it's kind of masking that slight decline that Benicia Unified is experiencing. So those numbers will change, as time goes by. This is for the current year and the outer 3 years. And then we also monitor not just the enrollment, but our attendance, because we get funded on attendance. And right now, we're also enjoying the hold harmless clauses that the state allows for, and taking advantage of some averaging over those prior COVID years that are phasing out.
Right, I was gonna
It's
say,
phasing out.
it looks like 25, 26, you go from
Yeah.
3-year average to current year, and then
Yes.
I would assume that's what CY means.
Yes, current year means CY. So we actually, what's interesting is our district, when we were declining, and we've kind of flattened out with this TK coming in, we were taking advantage of the 3 prior year every year in the outer years. But now that those good years are starting to drop off, you can say, well, ooh, wow, yeah, in 25, 26 right now, it's best for us to use current year. And then in 26, 27, right now, it's best for us just to use prior year, because the 3 prior year, it really stops making sense because those really good years drop off. So more to come on it, yeah. And then continue to monitor staffing and adjust in accordance with our needs. The big one on this slide or one of the big ones. All of them are key fiscal factors, but number 5 is a bigger one this time around, is our cost of living adjustment, the COLA. So when we report back to you in the new year, you will most likely see those outer years significantly drop. What we do, like many school districts in California, we use the dartboard, which posts the last kind of official COLA. And the last time we had that for 24-25 for next year was at 3.94%. But we know that's going to be lower. The legislative analyst office came out and said, right now, if I put this in paper, it'd be 1.27. And then in January, we should also see those outer 3% probably be lowered too.
Curious on that, the staffing. What do you see? It looks like we're gonna, in the out years, we're adding people.
Yeah, mainly it's mainly like TK. It's yeah, because for every TK class, so that's both certificated and classified, but generally for every TK class, you have a teacher and an aide.
Right, I remember
And
that.
so we're kind of adding at least we're projecting to add 2 TKs.
Okay.
So that's kind of also masking, yeah, or not masking, but that's part of the conversation there.
Thank you.
The next tab, a lot of numbers. Again, it's just a visual. Look at all the additional money that we have to pay into the retirement systems to keep them fiscally sound, as they've struggled with their investment earnings to pay the pensions for all of our retirees.
It looks like STRS that we've caught up. I mean, we don't have to continue adding. I mean, 23, 24, yeah, you're still paying what you're paying, but it doesn't look like additional amounts.
Yeah,
it does seem to be a smaller amount to PERS.
Yeah, at this point in time, STRS has kind of capped out at that 19.1 in this 23-24. We just went ahead and paid that. We didn't have to pay anything additional into STRS over 22-23. So that's good. We watch that, with each quarterly reporting system to see if that's coming out. But as of this point in time, what we're seeing is that it should stay flat for a while, as opposed to PERS, which is floating around those percentages you see there, and they're still into our next tab on the pie charts. Our revenues are at $61 million. Again, most of that is the state LCFF, the local control funding formula, the base plus the supplemental, and some additional state and federal funds. The next slide, we did want to point out for our 23-24 year that our special ed revenues did decrease from Solano County. Originally, it was under $600,000, and then some local revenues got adjusted to bring it down to a reduction of $625,000. So that's just the revenue side. We also, on the program side, as we get additional students and additional program needs, the expenditures could go up too, not just the revenues go down.
Am I correct in with SPED, especially these things are not things you could choose not to do? You have to by law.
Yeah, through the process, it's determined what's required and what gets offered on the program side, Mark. Yeah, and the
yeah. Thank you.
The next slide shows our budgeted expenditures at $66.7 million. Again, as a school district, we do that through our employed staff with the salaries and benefits, being up in the around 90% or so. We also have our carryovers posted. A big chunk of that carryover is the one-time funds that we've purposely carried over through our LCAP program. The next series of slides, we'll just do the next one on page 7, is just a summary of our FTE, which is our full-time equivalent employees. And so right now, just over 477 employees made up of teachers, certificated and classified staff. And then we do have some specialty funds like childcare and food service that also hire significant 45.6 folks. And so it's been about the same over the last few years. You can see that it did jump up quite a bit in 21-22 when we got all the COVID and the one-time funds. Right. And so as we talk about 24-25 and the outer years and what we do with those one-time funds that are funding positions, you may see that go down as we have those conversations if we adjust program and related staff.
Where is management in the BUSD staff summary?
Yeah, so if we click on the page, a couple slides in is called Other Certificated. And so on Other Certificated, we have counselors, and then we have certificated management for the 35.6. You can see superintendent, assistant soups, some special ed, nurse, psych, and principals. And the other group of management would be classified, and that's a couple tabs over. Other classified with directors and tech maintenance in some district office staff.
Oh, am I in the wrong spot? No, I was wondering, so in the, let's see, on the staff summary.
Staff summary, mm-hmm.
No, wait.
It would be other certificated and other classified, basically. There's
Yes, but, so, it,
Yeah,
is
other
it-
certificated.
no, but it's not a monetary amount. So if we look at staff summary, if we go back to the staff summary,
Mm-hmm.
and we have, oh, okay,
35.6 for other certificated.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in other cert, okay, sorry.
And most of those, all except I think the 7.5% would fall in the management of that other certificated.
Going back to the staff teachers, I assume the increase at the elementary level is the TK.
TK and
terms of the
also the
FTEs.
no combo teachers at
That's true. I forgot about that. Thank you. Because
in there too.
you look at secondary, seems to be trending downward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Everything else is pretty steady.
I will then, after the FTE information, the next set of tabs are pie charts for the detail of all the expenditures like benefits and supplies and services. This was provided to you in September the last time.
I remember that. Yeah.
We can go through each pie chart or know that it's in your packet. And I don't believe there's any material changes since the last time.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if we go to the last pie chart called fund balance, I think it's just,
FB 23, 20.
yeah, I think it might be FB.
Yeah.
Yes. FB,
23, 24, yeah. 13.
There we go.
that's fund
And
balance.
so at right now, based on our projected revenues and expenditures, the district would be left with 13.6 million. And we have the different reserves and commitments on there for our 3%, for the board policy reserve on payroll. We do have our one-time monies, the commitment for books. This was the resolution that the school board passed. It's fully intact for 23-24. and we had the conversation previously that starting in 24-25, because of our funding shortfall for our book needs, that will start to dip into that, basically be using that about a third, 33% for the next 3 years to spend down that commitment for books. And then the restricted for the LCAP, that $2.7 million, basically in the LCAP, we have about $2.5 million or thereabouts in programs that we're doing through the LCAP. So it's a little bit more. And so what you'll hear back after the new year is what the committee is asking us to consider, either doing exactly the same that we're doing this year and kind of spending another 2.5, or maybe pulling back on some things, maybe spending 2 million or something. I'm just making that number up so that you'd have a bigger chunk to carry into 25, 26. And the rest of the information details out anything in our commitments and carryovers. There's a series of tabs in here about our technology needs and our curriculum adoption, bond, and facilities, and deferred maintenance. And those are pretty much the same. Tech got updated a little bit, and books got updated a little bit, but they're about the same.
By and large.
And let's see, we just have a couple more slides. So one of the other things is in the slide that's towards the end, we'll keep going past, there's our tech refresh. The next one, I think, if you click on the next tab.
Which one do you want?
Maybe you can just click each one and then so we have an updated curriculum adoption one, we have our bond and state facility one, and we have our deferred maintenance one. So these just kind of roll forward to remind us we have all these needs. And then we look on a multi-year basis, what is our annual operating deficit and what is our projected fund balance. And so you can see that at this point in time, again, we have our required reserves. We have a positive certification. In 24-25, at this point in time, we have a target at this point in time of a budget cut adjustment of 1.4 million. So that's as of today. Again, we're going to see what the governor says in January. We have a voluntary supplemental retirement plan that might encourage some to take advantage of it, which could generate savings. And so there's some big things that will come back and see where that number lands the next time we have a quarterly financial report for you. So what we do in our multi-year projections, and we've had the conversation a little bit too, is as we roll things forward in the outer years, we use the information we have in the LCFF calculator, the revenue in the outer years. We do use those projected COLAs, which are a little bit too high. So we have those revenues in there, but we don't have some of the big expenditures in those outer years, like any kind of additional program needs or negotiation costs associated to future negotiations. So those are just unknowns at this point in time. So some of the carryovers or some of the reserves in those other outer years are a little inflated because we have the revenues in there, but we don't have those additional costs that may come up. So we just update those each time with the current information. And the rest is summarized data. And then at the very last slide, our next steps. After approval of this 23-24 first interim report, we send it off to the County Office of Education here in Solano County and the Department of Education for their review and filing. And then in March, we bring back the second interim financial report, but we're not going to wait till March to talk to you guys. We're going to talk to you on January 18th at the board meeting and update you because the governor would have just come out with his proposal. We would have just gotten information about how that impacts schools. So we'll give you hot off the press information on January 18th. And then at each school board meeting, you can pretty much count on there'll be a topic of conversation on the budget and potential adjustments.
Thank you.
So at this time, I would like to see if I could get a motion.
I move that we approve the first interim financial report.
Thank you. Can I get a second, please? Thank you. Roll call, please, Ms. Martinez.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you again. Item I, consideration and approval of the amendment to the contract between Dr. Wright, our superintendent, and the Benicia Unified School District. And I believe you had a copy of all of that, correct? Yes. So we are just happy to share that we, the board, appreciate Dr. Wright's leadership and that the board has approved his contract renewal. I hope he continues to serve the Benicia Unified School District with excellence and dedication. And a big old thank you, Dr. Wright.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're glad you're not going anywhere. So at this time, then, can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the amendment to the contract between Superintendent Dr. Wright and BUSD.
Thank you. May I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Okay, J, consideration of resolution 23-24-12 for increase in compensation of the board members. And I think, Dr. Wright, you're going to speak on this.
Yes. Ed Code 35-120 allows up to an annual increase of 5% to the board member stipend. And currently, our board members receive a stipend of $252 a month, and a 5% increase will bring that up to $264.60 a month.
It's hard to say that, isn't it?
I know.
Make the big bucks.
And that would be the 5% increase would be a $756 increase to the district. So a cost for the year. So I just wanted to bring that forward and see if the board wanted to have some discussion regarding the stipend or make a motion to approve a 5% increase.
Thank you. Did we go over this last year or did we not? Based on what I was reading, I don't think we did this
We did
last
not.
year.
It was skipped last year for whatever reason, I don't know.
Well, shame on us, but it's okay. Yes, it's okay. So are there any questions regarding
I
this?
think it might be helpful just to kind of explain what we use the stipend for, or what it, what time we're putting in and stuff. I feel funny about it, to be totally honest, but I get it. I mean, we do.
It takes care of gas.
It takes care of gas. It takes care of, travel.
It takes care of
4th of July decorations in the parade.
Magnets.
Time, right.
It-
Well,
yeah.
it's, yeah, I just.
But that's what it is there for. you
Yeah.
know. Mostly expenses that we incur. Even going to a fundraiser,
Right.
like for a specific site, I will use that money
Yes,
to go towards paying for my way.
right.
So that's a good, good to
Yeah.
let everybody
Just so
know
that
out
people
there.
know
So, yep,
what it's used for.
that is what it's used for. So at this point, I'd like to see if we can get a motion.
I move that we approve resolution 23-24-12.
May I get a second, please? Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Is this retroactive to July? It's not. It starts.
It's legally retro.
Okay.
January to January. Or
Oh, maybe so.
December.
Maybe so. Okay.
Yeah, it's the calendar year.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Don't go away just yet. I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat. I just want to remind everybody that the next governing board meeting will take place on January 18th, and it will be at 4 o'clock closed session, 5 o'clock open session, so that we can participate in the Benicia High School, their open house rather. And I also want to say, dear students, parents, community, and staff, As the year comes to an end, we want to express our gratitude and appreciation for your hard work, dedication, and resilience. We hope you all enjoy a well-deserved break and spend some quality time with your loved ones. May this holiday season bring you joy, peace, and happiness. We look forward to seeing you in the new year and ready for new opportunities and adventures. Happy holidays from your board. Thank you. Good night.